his FBI director. And that brings us to the last two big revelations from the Comey statement today. We have heard this one from unnamed sources before. We've never heard it on the record from the director of the FBI before. But Director Comey says in his statement, what's going to be his opening statement tomorrow morning, he says the president bluntly told him, urged him, sort of pleaded with him to drop the FBI investigation into Mike Flynn. This is on February 14th. There had been a briefing involving a lot of people in the Oval Office. James Comey says the president told everybody else to leave the Oval so he and Jim Comey could speak alone. And then this is what James Comey says happened. Quote, when the door by the grandfather clock closed, grandfather clock in the Oval Office, when the door by the grandfather clock closed and we were alone, the president began by saying, I want to talk about Mike Flynn. Quote, he is a good guy and has been through a lot. He then said, I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. He is a good guy. I hope you can let this go. Comey then says, I replied only that he is a good guy. I did not say I would, quote, let this go. If the president did ask the director of the FBI to let an ongoing FBI investigation go, for whatever reason, and again, we've had these allegations from sources and people close to Comey before. That's supposedly what he described in these memos that he has supposedly written, but we've never seen. It's all been reported out, but this is Comey saying it now. And if what he's saying is true, if we let the president stop that FBI investigation, then we are already in uncharted territory in terms of presidential behavior. I mean,
you're entering uncharted waters of presidential behavior, Magoo. He's entering uncharted waters here.
To pressure the FBI about an investigation.
Investigate.
If the president just personally pressured the FBI to drop an investigation, personally told the FBI director to drop it, no matter what the reason was, no matter what the investigation was, we are in uncharted waters. We have never seen anything like this in terms of presidential behavior in the history of the Republic. And finally, last point. Comey says in his opening remarks, which we'll hear from him tomorrow, says that the president pressured him in a phone call on March 30th and in a follow-up phone call a week and a half later that Comey should, in the president's words, lift the cloud that was hanging over the presidency. Lift the cloud. By publicly declaring that the president himself was not a personal target of the FBI's counterintelligence investigation into Russian meddling in the investigation, in the election, and whether or not the Trump campaign colluded with it. Lift the cloud. Make a public pronouncement that I'm not under investigation. Director Comey says in the statement that at least at the time of those discussions, President Trump wasn't an individual personal target of the FBI's counterintelligence investigation. But the president wanted a public statement to that effect. He demanded it. He pressed for it repeatedly. When he didn't get it, he went back to Comey and said, how come I didn't get that? And then, of course, Comey was fired by the president. We will hear it all from Comey himself tomorrow morning. But if what he says is true, the president has at least lied about several of these matters in public multiple times. The president said bluntly, no, no, no. That's a quote. No, no, no. It's easy to remember. The president said no, no, no when asked if he ever urged Director Comey to shut down the Flynn investigation. The president also said bluntly, no, no, I didn't, when he was asked just last month if he ever asked James Comey for his loyalty. So the president is saying no on those things. James Comey is saying yes. Either the president is lying about those things publicly, or James Comey is about to lie about those things under oath tomorrow morning. That stuff is really important. Beyond that, though, there is the question of whether the behavior that James Comey is describing here by the president is illegal. Not an easy question to answer. And the reason it's not an easy question to answer is fascinating, and that's it.